Welcome to the great state of Kentucky. We're at Mammoth Cave National Park. Always come to the visitor center first when you come to almost any national park, especially this one. There's no fees to get in, but if you want to do a cave tour, you're going to have to come here first and buy a ticket. This is where you can book one of your cave tours, and there's lots of them, and also the park rangers could answer any of your questions. I chose to do the historic cave tour, which leaves in a few minutes from now. If you're a regular visitor to the national parks, don't forget to bring your passport book where you can come here to this station and get your stamp and sticker. Besides many park rangers at hand, the visitor center also has a gift shop and restrooms. Our tour started right away, so we went outside and met with the group, and here we go.
Hi, I'm Alex, and welcome to Mammoth Cave National Park.
This is the most extensive cave system on Earth. It's over twice as long as any other. There's 365 miles that have been surveyed already, with scientists guessing about 600 more to be discovered. The cave's prominence came in the early 1800s when it was found that there was a lot of guano on the cave floor. The guano, rich in calcium nitrate, makes for a great saltpetre mining operation. So what is saltpetre, you might be asking? It's the main ingredient for gunpowder. So for the War of 1812, this cave became invaluable for the United States fighting the British. Once the war was over and the saltpetre operation ceased, the cave was known as the underground marvel, and travelers from all over the country started coming. It quickly became a tourist destination.
By the light of cane reed torches. What were they doing down here? Why explore so far? We can't tell you 100%, but what we can tell you is, similar to that saltpetre operation, there was some sort of industrial scale mining going on. And the relic of that mining is right here on our walls. You see that black stain just out of arm's reach? That's because these indigenous people would have been coming in here with mussel shells collected from the Green River and using those mussel shells to scrape a substance known as gypsum off of these walls. We're not entirely sure what they did with it. It's very soluble. It doesn't exist in the archaeological record, washed away by water very easily. But some ideas of what we'd use it for: sheetrock, Twinkies. Hostess would have us believe it gives some levity to their Twinkies. Me and several other rangers believe it probably has something more to do with the shelf life.
This is Giant Coffin. It's been a notable landmark here in Mammoth Cave for over 200 years. In 1838, the cave changed ownership. The new owner brought with him a slave that he acquired from a repayment from a debt. This man's name was Stephen Bishop. He became a lead guide and an explorer, but where all the other more experienced explorers would not go, the bottomless pit, for fear they would fall in and be lost forever, Stephen went. With another fearless guest at his side, they laid a cedar sapling across the gaping mouth of the bottomless pit and traversed it, this vastly expanding the cave roots. You can hear the water. So far down. There goes Mommy running. We're on a bridge right now. Incredible. Duck. Fat man's misery. It's barely wide enough for your 2 feet. There's the fat man's misery. Oh. Skinny and very short passage. Wow. It's a lot more. Stone's cold. All right. Stairs go up the hill. We made it. You can stand up.
Stephen would go this way. After about a half mile, you hit those rivers. He'd cross those rivers, extend the length of our tour routes. I can tell you, I've been places 8-9 hours from here, where I'm crawling like a turtle. It's a foot between floor and ceiling. I'm in knee pads, pulling myself along. And I think, there's no way someone else has been here. And then you look over at the wall and you see a Stephen signature. Yes, and you realize someone in the mid-1800s who was an enslaved individual with a lantern had already beat me here. And he would also head in this direction, where we're about to head in a moment. After the short stairwell and a short little jaunt, you hit the bottom of Mammoth Dome. And Stephen Bishop, alongside Matt Bransford, would reach the bottom of Mammoth Dome, where he'd see another vertical shaft. This one standing at 170 feet tall. Whole lot of water coming in here, folks. And at the bottom of that shaft, he would find a lantern. And for just a moment, before he got back up to the surface, Stephen thought someone had beaten him somewhere. But this would not be the case, and we'll pick that story up once we're up there. But I do like to tell you this. This is your last step down, ladies and gentlemen. What goes down must come up. We have many stairs in the journey ahead. Along that journey, there will be platforms. Take the time to rest at those platforms.
That was a hike up. Wow. Mommy, scared of heights back there?
Yes, yeah.
Terrified.
To the surface, and then someone spotted him. And they said, Stephen, where'd you find my lantern? You see, that lantern was from the days of that saltpetre operation in the early 1800s. They went down Little Bat Avenue, which is what we call where we just came out of. And they'd seen the crevice pit, that area we emerged from. And in order to see how deep down it was, to see if they could find some saltpetre down beneath it, they lowered a lantern down through that crevice pit. But that lantern, about halfway down, all they could see was darkness below them, around them, etc. The flame got too bright, burned that rope, and that lantern dropped all the way to the bottom until Stephen and Matt Bransford found it all those years later. Wow. But I told you, like that Ralph Waldo Emerson quote foretold, that great celebrity could be achieved by these early explorers, and that celebrity was achieved by Stephen. To give you an idea, despite being enslaved, he'd become a published author. You'd have a map that he'd draw of this cave, which he'd get credit for. And it reads not map drawn by enslaved guide, it reads map drawn by Stephen Bishop, one of the guides. He had become famous the world over. You can read letters, accounts by people from all over the world who talk about Stephen's personality, who talk about their experience down here in the cave. How if you go to Mammoth Cave, you have to request Stephen. And so amongst us, he's earned a title first given him by an author, and the title was this, Stephen Bishop, Prince of Guides. And while Stephen was down here, he not only expanded our understanding of the size of Mammoth Cave, giving us these new tour routes, he also expanded our understanding of the science of these caves, in particular some of the wildlife down here. Once he got to those rivers, he would be the first individual to see and then bring to the surface eyeless cave fish, both a northern and southern variety. Do you know how to tell the difference between a northern and southern eyeless cave fish? The accent, yes. Very good.
Well, that'll do it. We're back where we saw in the beginning the saltpetre mining operations. The tour we just did was 2 miles long and 540 stairs. There are several tours throughout the season, some only available certain times of the year, so make sure you make your reservations before you come here, because oftentimes they'll sell out. There's even crazier tours, like we have to have a lantern or a hard hat with a light on it and you're crawling around. There's even, hey, check out that bat. There's even an underground river where you take a boat or something, I heard. I don't know. The national park also has stuff above ground like camping. There's 3 front country campsites and also 13 back country ones where you have to hike in, use a horse, or you can even paddle your way in a few miles down a river to get to them. Well, yeah, with so much to do here and all the different tours, I definitely can't wait to come back again.